Hello guys, it's Alpha here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a FiveM server in 2021. I have previously created a tutorial on how to make a FiveM server back in April 2020. Unfortunately, it's outdated now, and the process of creating a FiveM server has changed quite a bit. So this is an updated video. Obviously, this isn't always going to be up to date. It's currently February 2020. If it's outdated in the future, I'm sorry. But you can always check the official documentation for setting up a server. This is what I'm going to be referencing today. I'm going to be having this link in the description, so I do advise going to this even if you're just following along this tutorial. There's a lot on here, not only setting up a server but also creating resources. Everything that you need is on these FiveM docs. So the first thing you want to do is go to this link just here, cfx.rekeymaster. I'll have this linked in the description as well, or you can just go to the docs and click on this link here. I'm going to have all of these hidden because this is the private information that you will use for your server independently. Every server has a different key, and you will need to register your own one. So obviously I've got 8 keys. You probably won't have any keys. You might do if you've tried to make a server in the past. You can press here, register. And then you can label it, so you can call it home hosted server or anything like that, because you're home hosting it from your PC. Your IP address, this is your public IPv4 address. So the way that you can get that is just search what is my public IP. And then this is the most popular website that comes up, what'smyip.com. And then there it is. So this is an IPv6. This is not what you need. Just here, an IPv4 is what you need. And then on pick a server type, you've got dedicated server, VPS, server provider, and other. You can just press VPS and then just put home hosted. Doesn't really matter. Or you can put other and then press home hosted. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. And then obviously verify that you're not a robot, and then generate a key. I'm not going to do this because I've already got a key created for my home computer. I'm just going to enable that. And then when you click on it, this is all of your things about it. This string of 6 digits and characters up in the top right, this is your server's unique identification code. So when you're on FiveM and you can put in, the server's name or the server's IP, you can also just put in this 6-digit identification code and your server should come up when it's up. So I'm going to grab my key, obviously not showing it to you guys because it's a hidden thing. And then once you've got that, you can close I'm going to keep that open actually and grab it for later. The next thing you're going to need to do is go to the artifacts page. I'll have this linked in the description as well. And then this is where you install the server artifacts, which is like a lot of the files for running a FiveM server. Press the big blue button, latest recommended. And then you can choose an install directory. So I'm just going to install it to my local disk C drive. And then just make a folder in here called, just home hosted FiveM server. When you're naming this folder, it cannot have any spaces. Wherever the directory is that you've put your FiveM server folder, all of the folders that it's inside can't have any spaces, and this folder cannot have any spaces in the name, otherwise it will not work for later. So I'm just going to save it in there. And obviously this is a zipped file, a compressed file. So that means that we can't actually access it yet. You can use things like 7-zip or WinRAR, or nowadays Windows actually has a built-in extraction program. I've got WinRAR installed, so I'm just going to use that. And then I'm going to extract it here. Now that we've done that, I can actually delete server.zip. Now we've got all of these files. Don't worry about these just yet.
Auto shutdown initiated.
Now we're going to close that. We can download all of that, yep. Okay, so here, this is different to what it previously was. Previously, you had to download server data folder and put that in there, but nowadays you don't. There actually comes a fxserver.exe file inside of the server.zip that we just extracted. This is an executable file, so you do need admin permissions on your computer. Most people will, so that should be fine. You want to just run this, and it will open a command prompt, and then it should prompt you with a pop-up Windows security alert. It might not, but most of the time it will, just to give it access. And then it will open a web page on your default web browser. This is TXAdmin. This is an official thing that FiveM servers use now. It's to administer and overlook and just develop your FiveM server. It's very useful. It can either autofill your 4-digit code, or you can go to this command prompt and it will say here your 4-digit code. So all you want it to do is just grab that 4-digit code and put it in here. If it doesn't automatically do it, then press link account. And then all you got to do is just press yes, allow. And then it will tell you to put in your FiveM login or whatever, but I've already done that. Then you can just create a password. And then it will ask you to set up how you want your server to be. So this is fine. You can just press next. And then server name, I'm just going to do home hosted FiveM. This doesn't really matter. You can just do, your server name, whatever you want your server to be called. Here is the interesting part. You can either do local server data, a popular template, a remote URL template, or a custom template. These two bottom ones aren't really popular yet. I'm sure they're going to get more popular in the future. This is where you can use a custom server template from the internet. These are the two most common ones right now. Local server data is if you just got an existing server. And then popular template is if you want just basically you can have any template of what there is. So you've got ESX, which is a very popular framework of resources. That's mostly for roleplay servers. And then you've got CFX default, which just has a basic resources that you need to run a server. I'm going to press CFX default because I don't really want ESX. Then you choose a data location. I recommend just leaving it what it is because this is the best path for what it recommends. As you can see, we strongly recommend using that path, so I'm going to use that one. And then we go to the recipe deployer. So this is the recipe of what it's going to insert into the server. Just leave it at what it is, basically. You don't need to change anything on here. Then you put your license key, as we mentioned earlier, from the CFX keymaster. Just get your key, copy it, and paste it in. Then you can run the recipe. As you can see, it's just opened a file explorer. This is the server. We're just going to minimize that for now. Go back and press next. This is the server.cfg. If you've seen servers in the past, you know what this is. This is just where all of the settings for the server are and all of the resources that we were running. So I'm just going to run it. It's basically just a pre-installed server.cfg. As you can see, we've got a web console of the server. On the first one, it does say it couldn't start resource chat. This is on the first time booting up the server. That's because it's running the build tasks for the dependency of the resource chat webpack. So basically what this means is you just need to give the server time to actually running the build tasks, and then the chat resource will start automatically once those are complete. You can also check on this command prompt. It's the same thing as what we're seeing here, just one's web-based and one's not. Whilst that runs the build tasks, we can actually go into this directory that it opened. And in here, we can see all of the normal things that we would normally see in an older version server. So you've got the server.cfg and the resources folder. These are the two most important things that you're going to really be accessing in your server. So if you open the server.cfg, I'm going to be using Visual Studio because it's a very, very good code editor. As you can see, the server.cfg has some text in it. This is a very short server.cfg, and it's as you can see, it's a very minimal version of the default config file. and you do need to actually edit this. So what we're going to do is go back to the FiveM documentation. This is obviously just walking through what I explained earlier. If you just scroll all the way down to here where it says server.cfg, this part that's in this box is the actual layout of a server.cfg that we need. So I'm going to copy all of that and then paste it into here. There we go. So once you've pasted this, there's a few things that we're going to need to change. Firstly, you can change the server name. So this is whatever you want to call your server. So I'm just going to call it Alpha's home hosted server, and that'll do just fine. Max clients, this is, you know, the amount of slots on your server. This can go up to 1024 as of April 2021. But yeah, I don't recommend putting that many because I don't think many people's PC could run that many people. And then here at the bottom, it should be the very last thing, is the SV license key. This is what we declared earlier. I'm just going to need to repaste that. Whoops. Yeah, we're going to need to repaste that, so I'm going to go back and grab it again. And then I do recommend putting it in speech marks, just in case, because sometimes it can be finicky about not being in speech marks. And then here, what you can do is remove this, the hashtag on this line, SV_master1. This will hide it from the server list. But if you want it to show, you can just keep that commented. However, it won't be showing initially anyway, because you do need to port forward your server for external people to join. I know on my previous tutorial, a lot of people were confused about this. When you've just launched a home hosted server, no other people will be able to join other than people on your network, so most likely only just you. I will have a tutorial on port forwarding, but until I create that, I'm going to link my old port forwarding tutorial, so you can check the description for that. But that's all we need to edit for the server.cfg for now, so I'm going to save it, and then we can close that for now. You can also edit the server.cfg in the TXAdmin website. You can go to CFG editor, and here you can see it's all here. You can also check all of the server's resources in the resources tab. This will show you if they're started or anything, just like that. But for now, our server is ready to go, and we can actually join it now. So I'm going to launch FiveM. So when you're on FiveM, you should see this button just here in pink, local host. This is to connect to your locally hosted server. So if you just click that, it should join the server automatically. As you can see, it's not fancy, there's no loading screen, so I've just got the default FiveM loading menu, which actually has GTA 1, so I can actually run around whilst it's loading. Now I've loaded into the server, it's just deploying me, here I am. As you can see, I'm now in the server, I can do normal stuff, you know, run around, jump. You will spawn with a random ped, so I'm this guy with the blue and yellow shirt, and you will spawn in a random area. So I've spawned on top of this mountain. If I die, I'll just respawn in a random location. This is just the basic settings for a FiveM server. We can change this in the future, but this is what it is for now. So there you go. That's how you create a FiveM server in 2021, as of February 2021. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more tutorials in the future, please hit the like button, share this, leave a comment, subscribe, and all the support is appreciated. Thank you. You can also join the Discords linked in the description, and I can offer you help in there if I can't help you from the comments, because I'm a lot more active on Discord than I am on YouTube. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.